Here is our last foray into trigonometry, where our questions get a little more interesting. First, we have a scenario where you and your friend are quite a ways apart, but you can look at the same building and you happen to know how tall the building is. So maybe it's really dark, maybe there's something between you and your friend, like a pool of acid. There's all sorts of things that can be happening between you and your friend that would prevent you from getting to each other and just walking the distance. So we're going to use our trigonometry again. We have two different triangles. We have the one that you're standing in, so there's 42 degrees over here, and we have a much thinner one that your friend is standing in. Let's make it a little taller. There we go. So that's 72 degrees. Nope, 71 degrees. They're both the same height. So 780 feet. You know, you like to go for consistency. So we're going to do two things. We're going to find x and we're going to find y. What I'm going to do, because by now, after we've done enough trigonometry, you can solve for x and y. I want you to go ahead and pause the video, find x, and find y, make sure you're labeling everything correctly, and check back in to make sure you have the right answers. How'd you do? If you are still stuck and you don't know how to solve these, you really need to come to a WebEx meeting with me. I'm here from 1 to 2. I've met with about 4 or 5 people and it works really well. Bring some friends so we can make it a party. Now, the question is actually, how far are you from your friend? So that means I just want this distance. I know the whole distance, and I know your friend's distance, and I just need that part between you and your friend. What will I do with y and x? Correct, you're going to take y, so that's the greater distance, and you're going to subtract x. So I'm taking away the part from my friend to the building. I'm taking that part away. Calculator race, let's go. All right, 597.702 feet. So you're actually quite a long ways away from each other. That's kind of cool. Here's what you're going to do now. You're going to jump down to the bottom here. You'll notice that I added something to the fireworks picture. I didn't want you to have to do a system of equations. You're going to do 8 and 9. And then if you're feeling spicy, you're going to go after 10. Here's what I mean by feeling spicy. If you go after number 10 and you get it right, I will find some way to add extra credit into your rolling grade. So go ahead and do 8, 9, and 10. And when you're done, come back to the video and we'll do the second example. Last idea, I need to find the distance from B to C. Okay, I got this. Here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to redraw our picture. I know and you know that it's easier to look at an image when the base is flat than when it's cockeyed. So I've got 42 degrees over here. I've got 110 degrees up here. I got 250 feet right there. And then I've got C and my question mark. First question. I can find the measure of angle C right now without doing any trigonometry. What are you going to do? Okay, go ahead and do it. C is 28 degrees. Cool. You're like, great, Miss Meyer. There's a fundamental problem here though, right? This is not a 90-degree triangle. But wait, there are 2 of them. How can I split this one triangle into 2 right triangles? Correct. If I drop an altitude from the top, I get a 90-degree triangle on both sides. Okay, thanks, Miss Meyer. Now what? Well, now this 110 degrees becomes not really helpful. What I can do instead is use the whole concept of 180 degrees in a triangle to find I'm going to call this A, and I'm going to call this B. So now I can find A and B. Go ahead and find the measure of angles A and B, please. So I've got 62 degrees over here. I got 48 degrees over here. Okay, what do both things have in common? They both have this side in common. If I look at 42 degrees, that's opposite, and the 250 is adjacent. What's opposite? Oh, that's not adjacent, that's the hypotenuse. My bad. It's opposite and hypotenuse. Is that sine, cosine, or tangent? Good job. Sine 42 is equal to x over 250. Let's go from the other side. So let's go from the other side. Ready? So 28 is opposite from that height, and I'm looking for the hypotenuse. So sine 28 is going to equal x, since it's the same side, over, we got to call it y. We have to call it y because it's a different value. Okay, how are we going to do this? Let's solve for x first. Pause the video and solve for x. $167.283 feet. Okay, I know what x is. Great. How do I find y? What's the S word? Our favorite math S word. Substitute. So I'm going to substitute for x. Sine 28 is going to equal 176.283 divided by y. Go ahead and solve for y. You can do it. Y is 356.322 feet. Let's think about it. If this part of the triangle is 250 feet, and I have a big angle of 110 degrees, does it make sense that the distance from B to C would be larger than from A to B? I think so. I think that makes sense. Guess what you're going to do? Right. Haha. Okie dokie. Good luck. And when you're done, go ahead and submit your notes with your answers.